Hey, hello, and welcome to the show. It is me, John Park, and this is time for JP's product pick of the week. Thank you so much for stopping by, especially after last week's fiasco. Let's see how we do this time. This time I'm running, Lars and I are running the new Mac Studio computer, much more capable than like the 9-year-old laptop I was trying on. So let's see what happens, right? I want to thank you for stopping by over in our chats. We've got the Discord chat over here at adafruit.it/Discord. Look for that right there. That's the live broadcast chat channel. That's where the people will be hanging out. Hi, Paul Cutler. Hello, Thin Man. Thank you for stopping into the chat. And if anyone else wants to join, that's a great place to do it. I've also got the YouTube chat right here. Hello to Dave Odessa for popping in, and we may pick up more people as we go. Thank you for joining in on that. Let's see. So what's going on here today? I have a brand new oldie but goodie from the Adafruit annals of history, a V3 of something. So it's a popular one. If you want to go check it out, go to that URL, that QR code. That'll take you to the product page, and this show is broadcast from inside that page, so you'll see me over there. And that'll give you an opportunity to buy it if it's something you want. Throw it in your cart. We had a limited number of these, I think 50, that were available, stashed, and then put into the store. That may be all that we had. I don't think we were artificially clamping that down, but I believe we've got 50 available, so head on over there and check it out. This is, I'm going to refresh my page. This is, oh, I'm wrong. We have 100. We had 100 in stock. And these are limited of 10 per customer. No resellers allowed, but they are 50% off. Pardon me. So half off, no coupon code necessary. Just throw them in your cart. Get them before they're gone. Get them before the end of the show. A little bit after the show, the price will go back up to normal. It's a bargain either way, but a really good bargain right now while it's half off. So I encourage you to go and check that out. And let's see, anything else I want to say before we really get going? I don't think so. So without further ado, as is custom, I'm going to have a couple of clips from Lamore, Lady Ada, talking about this product. It's the original is old enough that we do not have an Ask an Engineer. There were some Ask an Engineers and new product things happening, but it wasn't as formalized and codified as it is now. So there is not one for V1, but this will talk about V2 and V3, and I'll pick it up from there. So take it away, Lady Ada.
Yeah, there's basically two essential changes that I made. One is we are slowly migrating all of our designs from mini USB to micro USB. Even though micro USB is a little bit more a pain to pick in place, we found a good package that we like, and it's really nice and strong. And so we're using all the new devices. We're moving from mini USB to micro USB because it's just becoming a standard. Everyone has micro USB cables. The connector's a little bit more durable. So this, we Pro Trinket, we did micro USB, Metro is micro USB, and so we finally got to the point where it's like, okay, we've sold through the Floras, it's time to do a revision. So I revised the mini USB jack to a micro USB, and that made it a lot smaller, and it pushed it up. And so there's a big space that wasn't needed anymore because the mini B jack was so big. So I moved all the components up, and that made a little gap that was exactly like NeoPixel sized right above the button, and I was like, I wonder what I could put here that's like kind of like in size of a NeoPixel. I talked to Phil, Mr. Lady Ada, and like we had like meetings, like round tables. Yeah. We had a whiteboard, and we're like, what could we put there that's kind of like NeoPixel sized? and then eventually we had this brilliant idea that we just put a NeoPixel on there, and so we stuck a WS2812S on there. With the resistor, so you can use it from a wide range of voltages from like 3 volts, and we tested it up to like 7 or 8 volts, and it's just fine because it's a voltage drop through the resistor. And yeah, we just got this fancy glowy LED that is just using one of the pins that isn't brought out. So you pin 8, you can connect a NeoPixel. So this is really good if you want to have some feedback immediately about your project without having to sew NeoPixels. This gets you started really, really fast.
Okay.
Yes, it's a slight update, but it is an update.
Slight? It's a massive update.
Okay, it's a lovely update.
Massive.
And
massive emptiness.
Jeez.
Because the holes are bigger.
Yeah, the holes are bigger.
A feature is less.
There's less of it.
There's
It's
less of
true.
it.
It's a little bit lighter. This one has much bigger pads, and the holes in the pads are much larger to make it work with alligator clips. It still has a NeoPixel in the center. Otherwise, it's exactly the same. The components are the same. The silk screen's been updated. It's a really lovely silk screen. Phil B did up a very nice looking font, and so you can see the text on the pins are much nicer. But otherwise it works just as before, but you can use these alligator clips. And instead of like clipping on top of, you can you can attach through. It's an idea that we got from Circuit Playground, because like, oh, you know what, I should just use this for all of the wearables. You can still sew it, but then it makes it easier to alligator clip, because a lot of people like to alligator
It's like two
it
products
up.
in one now.
Yeah, people like to alligator
Yeah.
it up. So you just get a better
It's
grip.
sewable and clippable.
Sewable and clippable. So there you go. Clip friendly. Nice.
Yeah, nice indeed. Look, this is it right here. The product pick of the week this week. It is, let's get that into focus, the Flora V3. So this is sort of the original sewable circular Adafruit board. It was preceded by the Lily Pad a number of years before, different architecture, but this is the first round board like this that Adafruit did. And this is a really great board for wearables. That's what it was designed for. So wearable, sewable projects, props, soft props, things like that. I'll show you an example of one that I put together just yesterday. Really fun to work with. And some features about this. Let me pull up a little cheat sheet so I don't forget. So, of course, let me give you a better view of it. I've got a little down cam I'll switch to here. So this is the round sewable electronics platform that is Arduino compatible. It's running the Atmel 32U4 chip, so it's essentially the same. If you're in the Arduino IDE, you can use the Flora board, but you can actually use Leonardo, projects made for Arduino Leonardo, same chip, basically the same layout, and the Pro Micro, the Circuit Playground Classic. I believe that's also the 32U4, and a slew of others. But 32U4 is great because we've got native USB on it. This was one of the first sort of Arduino-like boards that we did that had USB where we could use USB HID easily, USB MIDI, and those types of things for your connections. It has a 1 3/4 inch diameter. It's nice and small and light. It is a 5-volt board, so that's something that may be of interest depending on the project you're on. These more modern boards that we're used to, like the M0, which is kind of the playground, Circuit Playground Express, and newer. A lot of those are 3-volt boards, but if you need, for some reason for your project, a 5-volt board, this is 5-volt logic. That said, it has a JST power connector on it for plugging in batteries or other power supplies that can run anywhere from 3.5 volts all the way up to 16 volts. So you can power it with a slew of different DC power options. We do not have a LiPo circuit on here, so as is pretty typical with our wearable things, we don't want to encourage the heat and danger of charging a LiPo on a person. So this will use LiPos, no problem, but you'll charge them somewhere else. So there are 14 of these sewable pads around the edges. One of the updates, as Lady Ada mentioned, is these are now alligator clip friendly. So previously the version 1 and 2 had a much smaller hole that was just for sewing. But these you can sew to very easily with our nice steel conductive thread, so you can make circuits right on your fabric. But you can also clip to them with alligator clips, especially for prototyping things before you sew them. That's not a bad idea. And I'll show in my example, I have both going on, sewn pads as well as alligator clipped pads. There is a single onboard NeoPixel, so this is great for giving you indicator stuff right on board, but then you can also use things like these little Flora pixels that we have that are nice sewable NeoPixels that are meant to go along with this type of a project. And let's see, of those 14 pads there, you can see we have a number of grounds and a few 3v3 as well as the VBAT pin. But by having a number of grounds, you can make your circuits a little more friendly, so you're not crossing streams. So you can run a few of those pads and ground and power, a few of those pads and ground, and so on, working your way around for 2D layout. Those pads, those 14 pads, 8 of them are GPIO pins, so those can all do digital input, digital output. I think we have pull down resistors on most of those. There are 2 of those pins in the upper left here that you can see, SCL and SDA, that you can use for I2C components. So if you want to hook up a sewable GPS sensor or other I2C STEMMA QT style devices, you can do that using the clock and data pins that are up there. But those will also still work as data pins. There are 4 of them that are ADCs, so analog digital converters on this side, where you can use things like potentiometers and strain sensors, flex sensors, that type of stuff. And there are 3 of them that are PWM pins. You can find out actually a lot of that info in the Learn Guide. I'm going to switch over to, let's go to the, where is my, let's go to this for a second. Still getting used to my new layout here. So you can see here's the board. There it is with some alligator clips plugged in, but of course you can still solder those as mentioned. This does have an on-off switch on board, which is really nice. Having an on-off power switch makes it a delight for working with batteries, especially LiPo, which are often just a bare battery that you're going to plug in and not have an on-off switch. I really like the battery boxes. 2, or rather 3 AA or 3 AAA is a nice one to go with, and we have ones that are JST cable ended and have the on-off switch on them, which is terrific. The links available down here as you scroll down. You will get to the Learn Guide as well as a lot of other projects. So if you click on this data sheets, EagleCAD files, etc., that'll take you to the downloads page of this guide, but I'll go up to the top here. So here's some nice photos of it and descriptions. Here is a pinout diagram. And if you take a look at that, that covers what I mentioned. So you can see ground, then 2 digital pins, 3 volt, 2 digital pins, ground, VBAT, 2 digital pins, ground, 2 digital pins, 3 volt. And of course, many of those are also analog pins, I2C, and PWM pins. But it's a nice layout so that you can design your sewable project without having to worry about conductive thread touching conductive thread. That said, I did find if you are sewing in a stuffed animal, which is the project that I have worked on, or a stuffy, it's not actually an animal, it's not Lars, don't worry, you can sort of get away with multi-layer. So you can go under and over, so it's a 3-dimensional circuit that you're building, so you can pretend it's an infinite layer PCB. You just have to kind of know where you've sewn things because you can't see them after you do them. If we go to this page in the Learn Guides, this is the projects with Flora. You can see there are tons and tons of Flora projects out there that are worth checking out. So we have the sewable NeoPixels, we have the sewable GPS, some different sewing projects with NeoPixels, snaps, connecting IR LEDs to do a TV be gone. Here was a GPS jacket project that models Phil with a light up collar when he gets to his destination, adding other components just straight on the board, like this little piezo buzzer. Here was this necktie that Colin demonstrated. I believe the original Firewalker shoes used this. You can see the LED sneakers there that Becky did. So a lot of projects using this, and also some good how to get started sewing your wearable projects guides that are relevant to multiple boards. So let's jump over to my downshooter here, and I'm actually gonna try to zoom out a bit here and show you this little project I was just working on. I'm gonna move these things out of the way here for a second. And I'll refocus on this little guy. So here you can see I've got this little sort of lemon wedge stuffy guy. His name is, well, I think we should name him something else because he's actually, he auditioned for and earned the role of sidekick to Lars. So you will see this guy in the future, but I don't know what his name is yet. But he or she. This is not gendered even yet. This is a little lemon wedge with a couple of Flora LEDs for eyes, and you may be able to see here some of the stitches aren't fully covered by the fabric there. Those are running up to this Flora right here, right up top. And you can see I have the ground and power and data. So 3 of these are sewn on for these LEDs. And then I'm using alligator clips as jumpers for a couple of other functions. And I'm running to this nice big battery box here, so this will last a nice long time. So if I go ahead and turn this on, and I'm going to turn my exposure down just so you can see the LEDs a little better. Let me put this light here so you can see the Flora. Okay, yeah, that's creepy. So there you can see we've got just NeoPixel LEDs lit, and then I'm reading these 2 jumpers. So if I move this jumper to high, you can see we're now doing a little rainbow LED pattern, sort of offset between the 2. Whoop, excuse me. Offset between the 2 LEDs here by 180 degrees. I have a nice little rainbow effect going on the eyes there. And if I set that back to close that, I've got a, let's see, where does that one have to go? Take that off the ground. There we go. I've also got the danger, danger alert eyes there running. So run if you see the little lemon wedge get that angry. This is nothing good can come of that. So let's switch that back on, and we'll take a look at the code here. So this is all in Arduino, and I just used some basic Arduino NeoPixel strand test code and some switch code in order to have these different modes or states based on the alligator clips here. So you can see this is not the Arduino IDE. I actually don't have it installed on this machine here yet, so this is just my usual code editor here, Z. But you can see this is as simple as adding the Adafruit NeoPixel library, and then I'm defining a bunch of variables to make it easy to set up one NeoPixel strand for the eyes and one for the brain here up on top where that Flora is. And then I have a little delay for the blink. I'm setting up some pins as input pull-ups for reading the state of those 2 alligator clips, and then I'm setting up a fake ground on, I think it's pin 6 or 9 there, so that I didn't have a easy ground to get to. Setting up a color for the eyes to start with, and a little rainbow swirl here for the rainbow eyes. And then in my main loop, I'm just creating a state for the rainbow mode or the eyes red mode. I check those, and then depending on which one, we run either the blink eyes, steady yellow, or the rainbow. So pretty straightforward Arduino code there. I believe you may also be able to do make code on the Flora. I forgot to check. We'll check that out in the browser, or if anyone knows in the chats, let me know. I can't quite remember if that's set up for make code or not. Let's see, over in the YouTube, Happy Hancha says, I'm going to need to make a QB plushie with red staring eyes. Red eyes are terrifying. Gordy G says, yeah, pre-USB-C, that's right. This, and actually also I believe all of our our Circuit Playground Expresses, or Circuit Playground boards, all are still on a USB-B micro. None of them on C yet. Okay, so that's the basic example I have going there. Now, let me answer some of those questions that you posed, or I posed, over in the browser here. Let me bring this up. So, make code. Yeah, I think this is actually mentioned right here in the main page, right? Is it? Make code? No. Not mentioned there. Let's go to make code. Let's see. This would be on maker.makecode.com. Maker.makecode.com. New project. and pick your board. So maybe it's not. I thought it was. Maybe that's Gemma. You can think of Gemma as sort of the smaller version of Flora, and then on the way to the bigger one, which is the Circuit Playground Classic. Other question that was on early on, what are the differences between Flora and Circuit Playground? One will be price. So let's go to Circuit Playground Classic. So yeah, that one's a $20, and then when you go up to the Express on the M0 chip, that's a $24. So normally $14, so it's a decent savings if your project doesn't need some of the extras. Main extras that you'll see, of course, are lots of NeoPixels on here and a couple of onboard buttons for input and a switch for input. Also has infrared and some sound capabilities. There is no power switch on this, so while this is good for wearables, the Flora, I think, is even better for certain types of wearable projects where really what you want to do is read some inputs like conductive pads. You can use conductive fabric. So if you have a costume where you want to like trigger things, especially light-based things, yeah, that's a good example there. You can hide most of it, hide the battery, and use the little onboard on-off switch. In fact, I'll show you just with my example here. Let's just bring the exposure up a little bit. So here you can see is the on-off switch there. Click, that's off. Click, that's on. So while I have the battery pack on here, that makes no sense. But if I pull that and use a LiPo, I don't know if I have a small, yeah, let's see. We'll see if this one has a charge. I have a real small LiPo here. This is a 350 milliamp hour, but good, and yeah, there you go. So that has power on it. So I can turn that on and off with this. You can, of course, use this for projects where you're plugged into USB, or use it for USB power over battery bank, but that just does start to make things a bit bigger. Okay, let's take a look in the chats and just see if there are any other questions before we get out of here. Let's see, good. And over in Discord, Todd says, Mega 32U4 was such a great chip, fully Arduino compatible, ability to use any USB device, so many macro pads and MIDI keyboards made with that chip. Yeah, I love it. The my cardboard conductive ink DJ turntable project was used 32U4. I really love that one. All right, that's it. Okay, so just as a reminder, if you want to go check it out, head on over to that URL. I'll refresh this again. Just I don't have the Chiron set up right now. Yeah, we still have plenty in stock, so go check that out. Throw them in your cart, get some if you want. Really neat little board and a piece of the Adafruit wearables history there with this one. That is going to do it. So let me give this guy some juice again so he can light up, he or she. And where'd the other one go? Right there. So that right there is the product pick of the week this week. It is the Adafruit Flora V3. For Adafruit Industries, I'm John Park. This has been JP's product pick of the week. See you next time.